And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
All right, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and thank you very much for everybody that reaches out to our hotline. Those calls really make our day, really means the world to us when you support the local economy by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show. And, you know, the consistent feedback is great. Also, it's, we love the show. We love the consumer tips, and that's what we take great pride in that. And we bring in all the best local area business owners, expert contributors, sales reps, a lot of the best in the area. So we've got Mike Haisten in studio with us, everydayplummer.com, another local area business owner, support the local economy. We're going to talk about his industry. Also, he's offering financing now as well, and we're going to have some conversation around that. Derek Kobel also joining us. He is a wealth of information in the world of public adjusting. A lot of people don't understand when they have these insurance claims, what are my rights? What should I do? And Derek can kind of help guide you in many situations when it's dealing with your insurance companies, et cetera. And also 100% financing for business owners and commercial loans with Andrew Kube. We're going to talk with him later on in the program. Plus, we have a feel-good story of the day. This one's kind of interesting. It's relating to the NFL. So after Ravens player drops ball to end the playoff hopes, opposing Bills fans honor him and raise money, $140,000 for his charity. So that's kind of a really cool, act of kindness there as well. Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, always helping you win in your real estate deals, making you more street smart here, of course, buying, selling, or investing. And we've got our next event coming up at Brio Tuscan Grill. And I got producer Dave. He's going to tell you a little bit more about it. Dave, what we're looking at on Brio, that's our third Thursday event every month. You can plan on hanging out with us, partying with us, networking with us, and we're going to move it from Hillsborough to Pinellas so that way we can reach everybody, Dave.
Absolutely, yeah. So this one's going to be on, this was February 20th. This is when we have over at Brio, Tuscan Grill, over at the International Plaza Mall. I know the first drink is provided by Joe Duffin over there at First American Home Warranty.
Yeah, shout out to Joe Duffin.
Joe D. And then, of course, appetizers are provided by the Platinum MVP team.
That's right.
Specifically the lamb chops.
Yeah, those lamb chop lollipops are so good, man.
Yeah, and the pollo al forno.
Dude, there's some real good, man. Some of the stuff, like the flatbreads are great. We did that beef carpaccio last time. Calamari's a perennial favorite. Yeah, good stuff. You ever eaten over there, Mike?
Absolutely. I ate there with you last time.
It was good stuff, right?
It was really good.
Some good networking, too. You were there at the networking. You're meeting other contractors.
Guys, contractors.
Yeah.
It's a great thing to do. Definitely.
Yeah.
If you got nothing to do on a Thursday, that's the place to be.
There you go. Thursday night, 6 o'clock, February 20th. Save the date. Brio Tuscan Grill. That's the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Come on over and hang out. They've got a very friendly wait staff, wonderful ambiance, excellent food, delicious food. Chef Oscar back there, flipping it and making it hot for you. And then Joey, the general manager, what a great guy he is. You've heard him on the show as well. So, all right. So come on out on the 20th. We hope to see you there. Also, a couple of hot listings. As you know, we always feature our real estate properties live on air. And thank you so much to the folks that have reached out over the last few days. We've had an uptick in calls, and we're listing some properties for our fellow patriots and listeners out there, Quarterback Show followers. Greatly appreciate that. One of our highest duties as a real estate agent, especially on the list side, is to get the maximum exposure for our sellers, and we're getting a tremendous amount of extra exposure for our listings by featuring them live on air, maximizing the exposure for our sellers. 8107 Sierra Manor Lane. This is a gorgeous $1 million listing of mine. Beautiful property here. 1.17 acres, 3,600 plus square feet, 443 two-story home, 4-bed, 4-bath, 3-car garage. Beautiful property. Waterfront, right on the water there. You have 130 feet of private water frontage, no backyard neighbors, 6,000-pound boat lift, and a private dock. Direct access to the upper Tampa Bay waters there, where you can take your boat over to eat dinner over at some of those cool restaurants right there on the causeway. Great opportunity to own real estate right here in Tampa Bay. Metal roof with a 65-year warranty, transferable warranty. You probably may, when you think about a metal roof, man, those things, you're never going to have to deal with that. So great opportunity right there. 8107 Sierra Manor Lane, beautiful pool home, spa package. And everybody that tours that home says this is just gorgeous. They love the coastal kind of feel for it on the interior, and the owner has done a great job of making it look beautiful inside and out. 8107 Sierra Manor Lane.
I'll take it.
There you go. I love it. I was going to suggest that for you. Mike. You know, we could do a contract right here. I got it in my briefcase.
Sure.
4233 Oakfield Avenue, Holiday. Here's another great opportunity. Beautiful remodel. It's virtually staged. You have lighter colors on the interior here. 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1-car garage, 1,121 square feet. 0.13 acre, fully remodeled in 2024. So you've got a roof, HVAC system, water heater, washer, dryer, granite countertops, cabinets, beautiful cabinets, appliances, flooring. So a lot of recent updates here. Oakfield Avenue in Holiday, Florida. Beautiful property. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, made in America. I love that. Throwback to old Toby Keith there. What a great
we're
artist.
made in America.
That's right, man.
That's right.
We love supporting American-made companies, American-made products, and absolutely everydayplummer.com. Another local company, man. Got to support the local economy.
Yeah, absolutely. We're doing our best to support the people here too. In all of Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco, all these areas, we're trying to help everybody, the best we can. Like offering the financing now with Green Sky and Synchrony, and so there's an opportunity for people to be able to fix their plumbing. It's a big ticket.
It is. It can be surprising too sometimes.
Right. Very surprising. And we have those that we offer so many different ways to help people. Be able to afford these things and be able to get it done, and low payments, monthly payments to get it fixed, and they can move on and get their house fixed and be able to use the bathroom in the house, which is always a nice thing. I mean, you buy a house to go to the bathroom in it, right? So you might as well call us and let us fix it. And we can hook you up with some good financing and good opportunities for you to, get back in your house and enjoy it.
Yeah, everydayplummer.com. And, it reminds me of that Homestead show. I love, you ever watch that show on TV where he goes in and he'll fix the homestead? And they're sometimes so happy just to get like some kind of a makeshift toilet,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The toilets are crazy these days. I mean, my goodness, they almost read a book for you.
Yeah, and then they have the low water. Yeah, next thing you know, you're gonna have a little thing coming out here. Put your book here.
It's crazy. You can take a shower in a toilet now.
Yeah, and you got the low water. Well, some of them are efficient too. I mean, that's another key element, right? If somebody has a slow leak in their home, they got the old school 1980s toilet. You put a new one in. You put that new efficient one in. You're going to be saving a lot of water too.
Oh, it trips me out. It's almost like it's like, how can they get like a shot glass of water to actually get this thing to go down? It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. So you have financing options available, making it more affordable for the consumer. I think that's what people are really looking at coming off of the last 4 years. The inflation numbers, everything costs more.
It's tough. People are scared.
Mm-hmm.
They're still scared. I mean, here, we got what we wanted. The people talked. We got Trump. Now we're all wanting to jump on the Trump train, but it's going to take a second to get things, back to order.
Yeah.
And the way things should be, gas, fuel prices coming down, so forth, interest rates. So, it's exciting. It's going to happen, but it's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
And, but in the meantime, these people need to fix their plumbing and they're trying to figure out ways to do it. And that's why we offer these financing, different financing options and so forth. So, you have to have that. You have to give that to the people. And, being a family-owned business, we're trying to help everybody we can.
What's interesting, too, when you think about financing options, I just finalized my mortgage loan origination, right? So I've got my mortgage loan originator license now, licensed realtor, 20-plus years in the business. But there's some interesting loan programs out there. There's some 203K, which is a renovation loan where buyers, let's say they want to buy this house, but it's not quite what they wanted. They wanted to update the kitchen a little bit, maybe update the toilets in the bathroom to that, faster, more efficient.
Right.
And so they can roll those costs into the loan.
No, that's fantastic.
And it's cool for the contractor, too, because once you're on the approved list, you're able to basically do it almost like when you're building your house. My wife and I had the great opportunity and fortune to build our own home. So you take draws as a construction loan. So it's very similar to that.
Yeah,
have you done any of those?
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
We have done a few of those, and more is welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
Call us up. We'll be glad to help you in any way. We're always looking to help anyone in their plumbing needs, 100%. So yeah, absolutely.
And it might be something too that people need to do, because let me just talk a little bit about the real estate market.
Right.
By the way, if you just joined us, I'm Brandon Rimes. I'm your host, and we're talking with Mike Haisten as well. Everydayplummer.com. That's right. Okay, so when you look at the inventory levels, right? Mm-hmm. So this is a really interesting stat. And I got to get these to Dave in a PDF so we can put them on the screen there. But when you look at this, if you look at the current inventory right now, there's 5,700 plus properties available. So active listings in Hillsborough County. Okay, 5,700 properties. Let's go back to March of 22. Okay. That was the high water mark. No pun intended, relating to floods. This was more of a COVID China virus thing. Right. March of 22, when people were moving from up north, coming down, getting out of those lockdown cities and mandated cities. 1,118 properties available.
Wow.
That's a difference of 4,613. Okay, so back then you had 1,100. Now you have 5,700. Mm-hmm. So I think if you're a property out there and you're sitting on the market and you're wondering why you're not selling, maybe it is the kitchen needs an update. Maybe the bathroom needs an update. Right. Maybe there's all these different scenarios that play out. So everydayplummer.com is who we want you talking to.
Absolutely. Reach
out to the hotline too. We'll put you in touch directly with Mike Haisten. He's the owner. And we'll put you in touch with him and his team, everydayplummer.com, 727-263-3707. Call or text that line, 727-263-3707. You can call or text. That's an off-air number. And what we want to do at that point is you tell us what you're looking for. Maybe you're looking to refinance. Maybe there's some opportunities for cash out refis, or maybe you want to be introduced to one of our attorneys. We've got several attorneys associated with the show. Awesome inspectors, home inspectors, both white collar and blue collar companies. So whatever you're doing, please save that number in your phone and reach out. We'd love to talk to you about that. All right, so we're talking with Mike Haisten here in studio. And Mike, what else are you seeing out there? I love that you have the financing options. And what about some of the remnants of the flooding and the hurricanes? Are you still seeing those types of calls?
We're still working on those. Absolutely. There's, it's still coming in. Right now, we have had a couple calls in the past week where people have already remodeled their home and got moved in. And unfortunately, the contractors said everything was fine, but they did not camera the lines like we spoke in the past. They didn't take a look at it. Now their pipes, floated with the water and the soil loosened, and now they have bellies in the line, which we were talking about the bellies in the line. And now we're saw cutting up floors and fixing plumbing. So it's, when you're dealing with a situation, like I always say, when you're doing construction in your home, get the motor checked. Mm-hmm. Yes, you're remodeling your kitchen and that's all. And the contractors love to say, oh, we're just taking the cabinets out and putting the cabinets in. Yes, you are just putting the cabinets back in, but that plumbing better be right. And if it's old, replace it.
Yeah.
Don't put brand new cabinets on it. And then, a year later, we're cutting all your cabinets up and ripping them out to fix the plumbing.
And flooring a lot of times too,
and
right?
Flooring.
Because it's got to run across the floor.
Everything. Yeah. So it can cause $50,000, $60,000 in damage if you don't take care of it right away. So fix it while it's open. Fix it while it's open. Make sure you call a plumber and get it checked out and call us.
Yeah, here's an interesting story. This was in the Times the other day. Thousands of Pinellas Beach residents are waiting to rebuild. Here's why. Long delays and reams of paperwork have complicated the path to recovery.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, so that's my next question is going to be about the permitting process because, a couple of people are quoted here. We've been waiting for an answer since Helene tore our lives apart, Miro wrote on Facebook. The city's slow. Oh, it's like molasses. This bureaucracy, it breaks my heart. She's writing that on Facebook. But, yeah, that's a common theme.
Up.
It's a common theme, right?
Yeah, they're just backed up. It's a traffic jam just to get permits pulled. And we're having that issue here in Hillsborough on, just on regular stuff, repipe, sewers. It's a waiting. And then with drawings, they're making it more difficult for us to do our job. But, I get it. It's kind of like there's rules because people keep breaking the rules. And if we, and that's the thing. That's fine. That's what we do. We follow the rules. We pull the permits.
Yeah.
We do the NOCs. We make sure that we have a notice commencement. That's what NOC means.
Yep.
And we protect the property, and we protect you, and we also protect ourselves. So everybody's protected. When you resell your property with Brandon BRimes, all right, when you sign up with the guy, you have a property that has followed the rules.
And it's also deeper than that.
And there's a record.
And it's FEMA, too. So, if these cities overstep and give permits when they shouldn't, FEMA is ultimately the underwriter on a lot of those insurance policies.
Right.
So if you get ahead of the game now, FEMA's upset. They're not servicing you. So that's we've learned a lot about this process, haven't we?
Making it tough
here in South Florida. We sure have. Quick break. More with Mike Haisten coming up. EverydayPlummer.com. Also, feel good story of the day. After Ravens player drops ball to end playoffs hopes, opposing Bills fans honor him, raise $140,000 for his charity. Coming up in our Feel Good Story of the Day. More with Mike Haisten here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon BRimes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, Brandon BRimes here. Did you know that we buy houses cash? We will close quickly and give you a fair offer on your home or residential properties, even commercial properties, and we will give you a fair cash offer, close quickly, and be diligent when you're shopping these types of scenarios, because a lot of the wholesalers, the flippers out there, they will sign you up on an as-is contract, and they will shop that contract and try to find a buyer, but they may not find the buyer, and they won't close. So this is Brandon BRimes, 813-917-1894, ConsumerQB.com. Brandon BRimes, we buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. That is my direct cell. You can call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon BRimes. Online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We greatly appreciate it. We're talking with Mike Haisten here, EverydayPlummer.com. We're going to get back into that. I'm going to ask him his #1 consumer tip relating to plumbing as well, coming up here in just a moment. Before we do, a couple of hot listings from the real estate team. 1700 Highland Club Court. This is a great opportunity in Palm Harbor, one of the most sought-after areas in all of Tampa Bay. Palm Harbor is a beautiful community. 1,280 square foot villa. You have wide open spaces, cathedral ceilings. I love those vaulted ceilings, when you walk into a home. The home has a newer roof in 2025, HVAC system, granite countertops, stainless steel. You get that lighter colors on the interior here. Community pool, beautiful community pool, man. We could swim some laps in there. Pontoon boat rides on Lake Tarpon. Great opportunity here at 1700 Highland Club Court, Palm Harbor, Florida. Exclusive access to private golf club as well. Beautiful property, clubhouse, pools, hot tubs, and more at 1700 Highland Club Court in beautiful Palm Harbor, Florida. 1758 Winfield Circle, Clearwater. Now, this is a gorgeous, recently renovated property. 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2-car garage, 2,746 square feet, 0.36 acre lot. So you have a large lot, you have a fireplace, beautifully designed kitchen. People really love the lighter colors there. Stainless steel appliances. You've got a huge island in the kitchen. Beautiful pool, open air pool. I love the pools without the cages. Just has that more natural feeling to me. No HOA, no flood insurance, and you're 6 miles from the beaches. 1758 Winfield Circle, Clearwater, Florida. Another beautiful listing from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We got about currently 60 current listings, and you can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Mike Haisten, everydayplummer.com, in studio with us. Mike, the Consumer Quarterback Show, we like to ask, what are your number one consumer advocate tips?
Okay. The biggest calls that we have, the largest call volume we have is kitchen sinks and garbage disposals. And for some reason, everybody hears garbage disposal, and they think that they put all their food and everything in this garbage disposal is going to eat it all up and throw it down the drain. Everything's going to be fine. And that's not true at all.
Yeah.
Wipe your plate off into the trash.
Yes.
And then clean the plate. The garbage disposal is good. Also, if you want to keep a garbage disposal fresh, one thing that is good is taking lemon peels and putting it in there and running, and cutting up the lemon peels. But it is not an oil. It does not get rid of oil. It still has all the, it's not, a garbage disposal does not get rid of rice. It'll get stuck in the trap.
Yep.
So rice, noodles, swell. Do not put that down your drain, and just remember, the garbage disposal is not a garbage.
Yeah.
It's not a trash can.
Yeah. Be careful what you throw down there.
Chicken bones. I mean, you wouldn't believe what we see. People just pour everything into this, into the garbage disposal, and it doesn't work that way.
Oh, man. You got to be careful with that.
It's just for the scraps. That's it.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man.
Right.
Speaking of food, I wanted to play this clip, too, because, we do talk about health and nutrition on the show. And
I love food.
When you think about that. But this was an interesting, I came across this, and I think a lot of people know it, but I was listening to another podcast, and I heard this, and here we go.
What happened in the mid-century?
These foods happened. Processed foods happened. That's the major thing. Plus, we can think about introduction of pesticides, introduction of other foods that are more contaminated with problematic things like heavy metals in the human diet. But at a broad level, ultra-processed foods came into the human diet over the last 120 years. And seed oils came into the human diet over the last 120 years. Food dyes, mono and diglycerides, all of these ingredients that your great-grandmother wouldn't recognize have become part of the human diet.
Yeah, it's terrible. When you look at all these processed foods,
right.
Even just white bread, white flour, if you look at all the ingredients in that.
Yeah, they're injecting it with poison just to keep it fresh.
And one of the worst brands is Pringles, I hear, from what I hear, right? It's these potato chips.
Those things,
it has a little
you can't
bit of
eat one of those, man.
Yeah, and they scientifically design it with these taste and the addicting, and they literally he goes on to talk about how they literally put the brain under a not a microscope, but somehow they hook the electrodes to it and they see.
And your brain's like, give me more Pringles, dude.
When you crunch on Pringles. You're crunching on it.
What do they put in the Pringles, man?
Yeah. A little bit of crack in there or something, man. I don't know. It's terrible.
Need a little rehab.
Yeah, exactly.
After a tube of Pringles, man.
You do. It's like, hey, man, what's going on here? But it's, it's laughingly, we joke about it, but there's so many people, like, I've got family members that are on all these different drugs. I mean, one for this, one for that. This one's for my stomach. This one's for that. This one's, and then they start piling up these drugs. Right. So I'm so happy to see the MAHA movement, Make America Healthy Again. And, we recently saw, what was going on in Congress with Kennedy. And so let's make America healthy again. Yeah. Let's hold these companies accountable. And, when you boil it all down, too, there's just such a hierarchy of these companies.
It's so expensive to eat good.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's so expensive, like fruit, everything. Like, here, I'm going to eat well, and I'm going to live a long time. Well, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Organic,
you're going to have to pay for it.
Especially if it's a thin, like a grape or something like that, you got to get the organic because a lot of that stuff's on there. But, maybe a banana, maybe because it's got a thicker peel on it, you can get away with not as much. But especially apples, pears, things like that. All right, final thoughts back to you. Mike Haisten, support the local economy, everydayplummer.com. What say you, sir? Final thought.
Final thought is this. Call us up. Let us take care of your problem, your plumbing problem. Stop putting it on the shelf. You got to fix it. You got to fix it. It's going to cause damage. It's going to cause damage to your cosmetic, to your house. Call us. Don't let your house flood with something nasty.
That's right. Don't do that.
Everydayplummer.com.
Everydayplummer.com. Find them online and support the local economy. And, we love it. Mike, thanks for coming in, and
My
appreciate
pleasure.
you serving the community here as a consumer advocate, giving out those tips.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brandon.
My pleasure. Coming up, Derek Kobel. We're going to talk about insurance, public adjusting, things to look for, all these, again, consumer advocate tips around that area. A lot of people don't know when they get a claim filed, hey, do I have to take this? What should I do? We're going to have Derek talk about that coming up. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
Welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here in studio. We got Derek Kobel joining us, Right Way Public Adjusting. A lot of confusion in the insurance space, a lot of confusion about permitting processes and how to file a claim and all that stuff. We're going to talk with Derek. He's going to help us break that down. Another one of our 80 different categories of consumer advocate content and advice we talk about here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Also, a couple of hot listings here from the Platinum MVP team. We always like to feature our properties on air, maximizing the exposure and the profit for our sellers. We love talking to sellers and helping you with your listings. 4360 82nd Avenue North, Pinellas Park. This is a newer listing. It's 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1-car garage. We have lighter color on the interior. Great opportunity. 850 square feet, single-family home, centrally located in the heart of Pinellas Park. You have 0.19 acre lot size. You have some recent updates as well. HVAC 2023. You have the roof is 2017, so a newer roof. Enclosed porch, tiled floors, in-ground sprinkler system. 4360 82nd Avenue North in Pinellas Park. Great opportunity to buy real estate here in beautiful Tampa Bay. 5444 90th Avenue Circle East. This one's in Parrish, Florida. 333. So you got 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 3-car garage, 2,600 square foot, single-family home. You are waterfront also. You have a small pond in the neighborhood, a conservation view in the backyard, 0.36 acre lot. You have a split floor plan, beautiful property here, spacious laundry room equipped with cabinets, newer roof in 2021. This home is turnkey, move-in ready, beautiful pool, screened-in lanai. Great opportunity to buy real estate here in Parrish, Florida. Check out 5444 90th Avenue Circle East in Parrish, Florida. And you can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right. Shout out to all of our veterans out there. Thank you so much for your service. Thanks for everything you do and have done and are going to do in the future. We greatly appreciate it. Land of the Free. I saw a T-shirt the other day. It was a listing client. He had an awesome shout out to Angelo out there if he's listening. He had a nice shirt. It said, Land of the Free because of the brave. I love that one. So, Derek Kobel, welcome back, sir.
It's great to be back, man.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
You've
sir.
been busy out there.
Been very busy, yeah. A lot of people with a lot of damage, so it's been pretty hectic.
Sad news, yeah. Did you see that article that came out in the Tampa Trib yesterday or a couple days ago? It was just talking about, the delays and, people are going through and trying to determine if they're 50%. I mean, that's the big thing, right? Are you 50% or not? That's the whole question mark relating to the FEMA rule. But, yeah, it's talking about, for Treasure Island example, 900 Treasure Island residents are waiting for a permit among the roughly 1,900 that have submitted applications. St. Pete Beach is around 1,600 people have permits in hand and more than 2,500 applications in the field. So this is a story that you've heard and seen every day in your job.
Yeah, and, the whole permitting thing and the 50%, I mean, that's really not my field, but I do know a lot of people are waiting. Like, for example, from what I've heard, like Indian Rocks Beach, they're like their own separate entity. They pull their own permits. They don't go through the county, but from what I've heard, they've pretty much given up, and they've given those rights to to Pinellas County, and they said, hey, look, county, you could take over the permitting process. Unfortunately, fortunately, in the beginning of this process, they were expediting these permits and allowing people to get permits pretty quickly, and I don't know why that stopped. So it's definitely very difficult for people to get permits. And then from what I've been seeing, because you can go on the Pinellas County Property Appraiser website, and you can actually pull up what your 50% number is. And if you look on a lot of them, it's actually 49%. So the county is being very careful, and they're saying, hey, this is your 49% number. So from what I hear, they're being very strict, and they're enforcing that heavily. So
yeah, that's good advice. You got to go on the Pinellas County Property Appraisers website, which that's Mike Twitty, by the way. He's a guest, a frequent guest on the show. We have him on a few times during the year to talk about how the porting ability of your homestead works and things like that. And homestead.
Yeah, you can go on the Pinellas County site, type in your address, and when your page pops up on the right side of the page, there's the yellow tools tab. You just click that open. It says FEMA, WLMA, or WLA letter. Just click on that, and it'll show you what your 50% or 49% number is.
Awesome tip. Yeah, this Tampa Bay Times article also, it says, two mayors capitalized on the assurances President Donald Trump made in Los Angeles and North Carolina to waive federal funding permits, federal limit permits, requesting to build disaster-struck areas. St. Pete Beach Mayor Adrian Petrilla and Treasure Island Mayor John Doctor called upon the president in separate letters to waive federal regulations that stand in the way of rebuilding. I respectfully ask that you extend the help clearing the FEMA bureaucracy to us in Florida, Doctor wrote. It's been 120 days since the first hurricane. We should be closing out permits by now, not trying to issue them for the first time.
Yes, it's and I hope something happens to help these people. I mean, there's still people out of their homes. I have clients. I've got an adjuster asking for a reinspection. This is going to be the fourth reinspection. The first two times they didn't even look at the interior, and this is more for a wind claim. But there's still flood claims where the adjusters, at least for me, I have a client, the adjuster said, hey, I need X, Y, Z, and then we can get this thing pushed in. I gave it to him maybe a month and a half ago, and he still just now got his report in, and he still doesn't have an update for us. So, unfortunately, there's still a lot of people that are waiting on even their initial payments, and they're still waiting on these carriers to even finish their reports.
Yeah. Let's kind of backtrack here because we jumped right into storm damage and things of that nature. What is a public adjuster, and what can you do to help people?
Yeah, so just to, I guess, reiterate, so public adjusters are adjusters that work specifically for you as the consumer. So the insurance company has their own experts, their own adjusters that work strictly on behalf of the insurance company, to where you really don't have a leg to stand on. The insurance company has all these experts, and as a homeowner, you need to understand that you have the right to combat what the insurance company is trying to pay you. So as a homeowner, you have the option of hiring your own private adjuster who has no incentive working for the insurance company to fight for your rights, to ensure that you're getting everything you're actually owed. If the carrier is trying to underpay or their scope is light, you're able to hire a public adjuster to make sure everything's actually being accounted for and the process is going how it should be in your favor.
Your advocate. I mean, you're the consumer advocate.
Absolutely.
Especially relating to storms, to insurance claims. Now, homeowners also have to realize, if they read their policies, which how many of us do that?
No one.
I mean, right. And it's similar to like you're signing up for a cell phone or whatever. You're agreeing to these different terms, right? Nobody reads those.
No.
But you do have certain in those policies, you have certain things that you have to abide by as the consumer. One of which is the ability to preserve your property, for example, tarps and things of that nature.
Right. Yeah. Mitigation. You have mitigation to remediate and mitigate your home. And unfortunately, with the flood, the problem that we're running into, and like you said, in your policy, you have an obligation to protect your property from further damage. And if you don't, let's say you have damage to the roof and it's leaking, you don't tarp it, another storm comes through and it leaks more, the carrier can deny your claim and say, well, you never protected your property, you abandoned your property, and we can deny your claim. Most of the time they should pay for it, but you are obligated to prevent further damage. So for flood, if you haven't mitigated your home by now, you should, because mold probably grew, the water probably got worse, and you want to make sure that you don't give the insurance company any ammo to deny your claim.
Right.
Yeah,
because they're looking for that.
They're looking for it because, I mean, these are big claims that they don't want to pay. And unfortunately, what's going on with the mitigation is I just about an hour ago got a mitigation document from a client that said remove drywall in the house and mitigate remainder of home was on the invoice, $10,500. The insurance company is not going to pay that invoice. So a lot of mitigation companies right now are sending people bills saying, hey, I'll mitigate your home. They cut the walls, they remove all the wet, non-salvageable stuff, and people are paying them $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, but that bill isn't broken down. It just says remove drywall throughout house, $15,000. The insurance company's not going to pay for that. These companies have to break it down the way that FEMA guidelines, that FEMA requires. So, I mean, they can't just
more itemized.
It's got to be more itemized the way that these insurance companies break it down. But FEMA doesn't cover all those line items. So they have to look through the FEMA website to make sure that those expenses are appropriately being documented.
Wow.
It's the only way it's going to get paid, and a lot of people are running into that issue.
It sounds confusing, so the best thing to do is just reach out to the hotline. We'll put you in touch with Derek, 727-263-3707. Just call or text the show hotline. Derek Kobel, Right Way Public Adjusting, 727-263-3707. Of course, buying, selling, investing, refinancing your properties. We can help you there as well. RightWayPA.com in case you're driving, you want to talk to them. RightWayPA.com is the website. Also, ConsumerQB.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors. Watch our previous shows. By the way, please subscribe to our channels. That really helps us a lot. Derek, final thought. Give me some more consumer tips. What do we need to know? What are we doing? What are people doing that maybe they shouldn't be doing? Final thoughts. Back to you.
A lot of people are, something I'm running into a lot is there's water coming in through windows and coming in through doors where there's something called concurrent causation, where if flood and wind cause the same damage. So let's say I have a client right now where the rear view sliders are damaged. Wind definitely caused damage to those sliders, but also the flood. Unfortunately, that's going to be covered under flood, and homeowners insurance won't cover it. And a lot of those people are not in flood zones, so they have no coverage. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, this can be very confusing. I just had a client actually that you on this show actually reached out.
Good.
And he said that he still to this day hasn't heard from the carrier when it comes to, I believe it was the flood, but for the wind, he was drastically underpaid. And he said that they only paid for a repair, and there's 20 missing shingles. It's an old roof that can't be repaired. And they gave him $2,000 or $2,500 when he has a $5,000 deductible. So they said his total damages were $7,000, where from what he explained to me, water came in through the windows, through the roof. There's leaks inside. The floors got damaged that are continuous flooring. Minimum, that's a $40,000, $50,000 claim. I mean, just on the top of my head without seeing the property.
Right.
And so they've severely underpaid this claim. And without the proper documentation, it's going to be very difficult, especially if it's already mitigated. It's going to be very difficult to argue these claims. So if you guys were to give a call and reach out, make sure that you have all your documentation in line and take photos if you haven't.
Yeah. And also, if that client gets pushed to the limit and they were to have to hire an attorney, didn't the state of Florida just change the laws there? So it's one-way attorney fees?
It is. So it used to be to where if the insurance company was found at fault and the attorneys were able to recover at least a penny more, to my understanding, I should say, because I'm not an attorney, they were able to get their fees paid for above and beyond from the carrier. Now that's no longer the case. FEMA is different because flood is almost the government, so a lot of attorneys don't want to get involved in that, where public adjusters help with the scope and contractors really can help with the price. But when it comes to wind, I would highly recommend everybody look into, if not legal, if you're scared to go legal, the appraisal route. Appraisal is another alternative route that's really, really good. When the carrier comes up with a estimate and then we come up with an estimate and we just don't agree, then you can invoke the appraisal clause in most policies, and that's a really great, quick resolution. It's usually one of the most fair ways to settle claims without going legal. Great
point. Ray Hall Appraisals is who we talk with on the show. He's been a show partner for about 8 or 9 years now. Ray Hall with Ray Hall Appraisals, and he'll do an owner's use appraisal for a discounted fee. It's not the $500 that you typically would think on a residential property. So that's a great point, Derek. Reach out to Derek Kobel, Right Way Public Adjusting. Derek Kobel, Right Way Public Adjusting, online at rightwaypa.com, rightwaypa.com. Also Instagram.com, rightwaypa as well. And Derek, thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Great tips today. Appreciate
that.
Yes,
sir. Thank
you. All right,
man.
we got Andrew Kube coming up. We're going to talk U.S. Commercial and Business Capital with Andrew Kube, U.S. Commercial and Business Capital. We're going to talk about 100% financing for business owners. A lot of business owners don't realize how powerful the SBA is and what you can do, especially if you're paying rent currently. You're going to want to hear more about this coming up with Andrew Kube. Plus, our feel-good story of the day. After Ravens player drops ball into end zone to end playoffs, opposing Bills fans honor him and raise $140,000 for his charity. Feel good story of the day coming up. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Call Brandon Rimes at 727-263-3707. That's 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.